Welcome back to our small repair community where we feature repairs done for actual paying customers. That way, you can see the real practical value of the methods that we feature. We are creating here a video reference journal, if you will. And so if the video doesn't apply to you today, it's a reference for you for sometime in the future when that particular repair presents itself. And we had that with one of our viewers who sent in this picture of a customer request for service. And he remembered we had a video on hand sewing an insert into a piece of furniture, and he used that video to help him in this job. So I appreciate that. It's rewarding to me to see how that really works out with other technicians. So thank you very much for sharing those pictures. And we do have this time another piece of furniture that doesn't require repair but really a refinish. And I would like to take that opportunity to highlight some features about color on furniture, especially really rich colors. Let's go to work. So our first impression here is colors missing. Instead of the two-tone finish color, we have an additional dark color that the customer tried to do himself. So we need to see if we can clean that off and get our color scheme back to normal. Why not try some alcohol to see if that'll remove the color that's been added? And it does a little bit. It's not working too aggressively, though. Let's see what effect our general degreaser has on here. And not that much of an effect on the added color, but we're going to clean the whole surface anyway. And of course, an overall prep step with our 99% isopropanol. And in all of this, I'm recognizing that base color is very durable. We have seen this in much of the furniture originating from China. Typically, though, the top coat color is very weak, like it's not been cross-linked. And of course, that explains why the brown is missing. And so, while we are removing the customer's added color, we're also removing some of that weak original two-tone color. Now we're cooking. Okay, let's get a look at our target color now. If we needed to make a color for the base, the yellow oxide there would be important, but the base is already solid. So we just need to concentrate on these colors that relate to our top coat color. 145 brown is very rich, so very good for a starting color. We can make it darker with 140 brown, darker with 110 black, or darker with 190 violet or purple. So in practical application, I've added my 145 brown, my 140 dark brown, my violet or purple, and my black, just in a rough proportion, just to give me a starting point. I brought my mixing station over here to put it in frame. Always work in your mixing station. And our first guess is too light. Let's darken it with our black and our violet or purple. Now, be careful with black because black hides colors. Use black very sparingly, and you'll find you don't need much if you're going to darken. Put too much black and you've lost all of your colors, though. So be cautious. That looks more like it. Okay, this is the point at which it would be good to discuss about using the pigments. With pigments, what you see is what you get. It's wet on the stick, and it is wet where I accidentally touched it onto the cushion. But if you were to apply the pigment to the cushion and then dry it, it would turn chalky and whitish, and you would lose all sense of color. So before ever really going to the cushion with our color, we need to mix it with the binder or the base, okay? You can check the pigment color on the stick, but you cannot check it by dabbing it and drying it on the substrate. It has to be made into a paint first using your appropriate binder, and in this case, we're going to use our high gloss clear. Here's an example of putting the right color, 145 brown, but it's only pigment dry on the leather. It doesn't match. We need the binder. Here are some examples where the 145 brown works great as a starting color. Obviously, the color of choice here, we can adjust it for lightness or darkness. And here, straight on, it works really, really well. In this next example, maybe you wouldn't have thought to start with 145 brown. But in this example, we could start with that and then tone it down because it's difficult to get the richness if we don't start with the richness first. Okay, now back to our project at hand. I'm adding the correct proportion of high gloss clear based on the amount of pigment that we had. So we want basically an 80-20 mixture here. 20% of it is the pigment and the other 80 is our high gloss clear. We have way plenty, but that's okay. I mean, we only need like a half ounce to do this entire cushion, so we can save it back and not use the mother load. We'll save the mother load back. This way I could cross-link only the amount that we're going to be using up. If we are concerned about adhesion because of what happened to this cushion in the first place, what would be wrong with spraying some adhesion promoter over the entire seat cushion? That's our insurance policy for good adhesion. The first coat of color is just going to be what I call a tack coat, a very light coat. We'll try to diminish some of this orange, this yellow-orange base. Just diminish it a little bit, not hide it fully. Not trying to hide anything with this step. Okay, now I can more or less randomly put shots of paint in areas where I want just a burst of color. Not painting the whole surface, letting some of that base color come through. I have a couple of spots I can touch up while I have the color at hand. Let's do it. All right, taking a look at our design. Can we go again? I think we should. Again, we want just burst of color. It's apparent we didn't want so much of that base color showing through. The hairdryer guy works real fast. All right, let's put a light on this. You know, I'm going to be happy with that. Let's go with that. I'm saving some back, and this is what I do. This is all the leftovers. I put it in a bottle and put some color on top so I can reference that for next time. Now it's time to get me some clear. That'll be my final protective coat. I don't need much, ½ ounce maybe, max. I'm going to add some slip, some crosslinker, some thinner resin to make it flow better, some flex additive. Stir it up, we're ready to go. Of course, your recipe will be whatever your particular job calls for. Let's put 2 light coats of clear. Just what the doctor ordered. And I want to thank you for joining our community. And as our friend Gary says, let's go out there and be craftsmen.